drill down on what you've been thinking about with Florida-Miami in this matchup.
Well, I think a lot of people kind of taken the approach of being down on Florida and then kind of understanding why they should be up on Florida. And then it's almost like there was a schedule reveal a couple of weeks ago. It's so weird that everybody all of a sudden is going, hey, Florida's got a really hard schedule. Been out for 6 months. I mean, we all knew what the schedule was. So, but it's going to be a tough game for both teams. I mean, I think the teams are about even talent-wise, especially if you add in the Swamp, as being the 12th member of Florida's team. So I would say they're about even. So, and that's why the spread's 2.5, and that's why I have no idea what's going to happen in this game. And that's the thing. We're going to find out what this team is made of. I don't think this is a be-all, end-all game, but still at the same time, if you win this game, you feel a lot better about things. And obviously you got two coaches. You got one coach with 12 career wins at his school and one coach with 11 at his. So it's not exactly like they've been burning it up.
Hey, Dooley, both coaches' staffs, the segue what you were just talking about, both coaches' staffs, both coaches are under a tremendous amount of pressure. But whoever loses this game, which firestorm is going to be ignited the hottest?
Well, it's that's an interesting question, to be honest with you, because I think it might be in Miami. The firestorm will be big here, but it won't be as big as it'll be if they don't play well in other games. A&M, for example, at home, going to Mississippi State, trying to get some of those wins. I've said this all along. This team cannot have a successful season if they don't start 5-1, because they may go 1-5, at the end of the season. So I think it's important to try to get this win if you're going to try to go 5-1. I think there'll be overreaction, and we all know that. It's always going to happen. There'll be all kinds of overreaction, but people are more down on Mario as a coach than they are Billy as a coach. They're down on Billy in that they don't feel like he's brought in the coaches to make guys play at their best, and that's what he did. He changed the whole staff up. So we'll see, and we'll see if it works.
He also brought in the circles on the sideline, Dools. It took him 2 years to figure that out.
He's got a mat, man. Hey, anytime you have a mat, he's taking steps.
That's, that's like literally coaching 101. But whatever, another time for another story. All right, so you've talked to people there. You're very close there. I've talked to some people there. They're very excited about the offensive line. I'm going to be in I'm going to hesitate a little bit and wait and see it kind of situation with that offensive line. I think Austin Barber can be very good. The rest of that line, they think Cameron Waits is going to be a big, strong guard. I don't know about Damian George. He's moving inside, so that'll help eliminate some of the potential of disaster on the outside. But you got to transfer on the other side and the right side. What are your thoughts on the offensive line, and what have you heard?
Well, the interesting thing is that they have decided Cameron Waits is going to start at right tackle. So
he's moved to right tackle now.
Yeah, so it doesn't mean he's going to play.
Good grief.
Play the whole game or anything like that. But he's moved to right tackle, and George is on that right guard. And look, George was a disaster at tackle. We all know that. They had 4 different people play right tackle last year, and Cameron Waits was one for the last game against FSU.
Right. So what happened to Dixon Crenshaw, the kid, the transfer?
He's the backup at right tackle, and which we all were assuming it was going to be Dixon Crenshaw was going to be the guy. But against Cameron Waits has had a good camp. So
That's right.
It's always hard to tell in camp because you're doing a lot of hitting drills and everything, but you're not. You're having scrimmages and everything, but it's so hard to tell till you get into an actual game what your offensive line is going to be like. And the other thing is Jake Slaughter was forced to play center a lot last year because Kingsley was was hurt almost a whole year and really got better as the season went along. So I'm hoping he'll show improvement. But Matt, that they've got a really good defensive line. I think this game is going to be a trenches game, and one team is probably it's going to be like that FSU game was. It was all in the trenches is where Georgia Tech won that game.
Yeah, a little bit of a fist fight. Who's tougher, that type of thing, the mindset, all that stuff. We'll cliche it to death, that's for sure. We're talking with Pat Dooley. You can definitely check him out on X at Pat_Dooley, and then everything that he's got going on over in Gainesville. The Montrell Johnson news for the Florida Gators is a positive one, Pat, because it puts them in a position where at the very least they have numbers. If he's not 100% like they'd like him to be, they obviously can go deeper on their roster. What did you think about that?
Well, I had been told early in camp that Johnson would be probably ready for the first game, so it wasn't a big surprise. They did list him as a starter, and I do think that, and I haven't, nobody's told me this, but I would guess that he's going to be on a bit of a pitch count. Mm-hmm. You know, you don't want to just take a chance on him being out there too much. I'm not sure what kind of shape he's in because of being sidelined for a while. And again, they were just cleaning out that knee, and hopefully he'll be as quick as he was before, because people don't even talk about his speed, but man, I don't think anybody caught him from behind last year or the year before. So it's good news for Florida, because I think, look, I love their running back room. It's like you said, they have incredible numbers back there, but it's a lot of inexperience. Are you going to count on a freshman and Baugh? Or KD Daniels? Or are you going to go to Treyon Webb? And get him the ball more? So that'll be the interesting thing. I think Treyon was going to be the bell cow in the opener if Montrell couldn't go. But now that he's able to go, how do they divvy up those carries? And again, a lot of this, guys, this as well as I do, comes down to possessions in a game. Mm. We see games with 6 and 7 possessions for some teams, and we saw that last week. But where if you only have 6 possessions, you don't want to keep Montrell Johnson on the bench too much. So it's going to be. I think you have to just wait and see how it plays out. But I think it's good news for Florida that they do have him for the game.
So, Dooley, we're 48 hours away right now from kickoff. So Florida wins this game or Florida loses this game if?
I think Florida wins this game if they do what they have not done for the last 3 years, and that is create turnovers. Miami last year had 22 turnovers, and they lost a lot of games because they turned the ball over. Now, Tyler Van Dyke's not there anymore to kick around, so I think that's obviously going to be different with Cam Ward. And but I do, and Damian Martinez, of course, being a 2,000-yard rusher in 2 years at Oregon State. So I think, but if Florida can somehow create them, they haven't done it. They had 3 interceptions last year. They don't get many fumble recoveries. They don't create a lot of fumbles. And this is what I think Ron Roberts was really brought in here to do, was make this more of an opportunistic defense that can make things happen instead of being a passive one that just kind of sits back and waits till the guy catches it and hope they tackle him.
That's the key, is tackling too, Dools.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they were horrible. They couldn't tackle guys.
I know. They were bad, and Roberts apparently he knows that. And that's what I mean. It's just like everything. You don't change coaches. You don't bring in new coaches if things are going great,
So who's calling the plays? Is it still going to be Chris Farley, or is Ron Roberts going to be the guy?
We like to call him Chris Farley. He's ours. He's ours. May he rest in peace.
You remember when you played with the Beatles?
Right. That was cool.
Yeah. No, I think Roberts is basically running the defense, but I think the two of them are obviously, they get along real well. They've known each other for a long time, and I think they're coming up with a defensive game plan. And Roberts will be a big part of making the calls. They'll still call them co-defensive coordinators, but I think there's a reason they brought him in here. I mean, look, it's been a historically bad defense for 3 straight years, really 4 straight if you go back to the COVID year, because when nobody played defense. But Florida decided we're not going to play it anymore. We don't want to play any defense because it's just been awful. Every time I start to look up numbers, I go, oh God, I hate to bring these to the Gator fans, but they're facts,
Yeah, they just kept making history. They really did.
I know, it's unbelievable. I think I looked it up last fall. I think the 3 interceptions were the fewest since the forward pass was invented. So that's not a lot of interceptions. You got to admit that.
It really is unbelievable when you think about it. And on that level, you should not have that little production. That's for sure. Now, real quick, stay there, because Marshall's a guy that was heralded last year, Jason Marshall, and did not have a very good year. So you think that back end potentially could be better and could rattle Cam Ward?
Oh, I think it will be better. And it can't be worse. I know that.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was the same, it would be terrible. So, look, Jordan Castell has got a year under his belt. He showed signs last year of being a good player. I think he'll be better. And obviously, Asa Turner was a huge get for them in the portal, and he has become a leader of that defense. And Jason Marshall knows this is his contract year, and Billy's told him, this is your contract year, man. If you don't do it now, you might as well just go to work at Minimart, you know. And then, I just think they've got a lot of good – I mean, Devin Moore being healthy, they got to keep him healthy. He was a really good player last year, and then he got hurt, and they lost him for the year. So I think if those four and then you add in all the other guys they've got, they brought in so many players from either the portal or recruiting. And that's going to be the interesting thing to me. I'm going to be watching this freshman class to see how they handle the big game atmosphere and how they handle don't get overhyped, but be hyped, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a lot of hope in the Gator Nation, but if the defense isn't better, it's going to be worthless.
Now, dudes, all I care about is that I hope Saoirse don't make a sack on this game.
Oh, I've already been guaranteed he'll have two. Okay.
Yeah. I went to Leon. I'm
just because of his last name.
And I've gone one more. I've gone Cersei and Sapp.
Ooh.
I keep telling them,
Sapp.
Duels, they love TJ Cersei. They think he's going to be a player.
They do.
He's not happy about it.
Well, I think they're going to rotate a bunch of guys in this year in that front line to keep them a little bit, less tired, I guess is the word that we're looking for here. Mm-hmm. But they're going to try to rotate some guys in. But as you know, if the team comes out, who knows what Miami come out in a no-huddle offense, and you're going to have your guys out there for the whole time. You're not going to be able to get them in and out. So that'll be the interesting part and I'm curious to see how Cersei plays, how Sapp plays, like you were just saying. Those are going to be key guys. And George Gum, who's out on the end now, is going to start. So he's apparently related to Forrest Gump.
Justice Boone, all those guys, man.
Cannot wait. Cheers to you, and thanks for making time. And obviously, we'll be talking to you as this season unfolds, and we'll see whether it's on the plus side or the negative side.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Thanks so much for watching the 1010XL Gators channel. For more college football coverage, check out the Knowles channel.